Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another exhaust video. So last week I tested the Ducati Diavel with the £5,000 optional Akropovic. This week we're fitting a £470 Lextek system to my GX. Now, the whole time I've had this GX, I've really wanted to sort of get it mapped and see what you can unlock from the bike. I mean, it's a pretty fast bike standard, but with all the Euro emissions, all the rest of it, I know there's more available. So I spoke to Suzuki. They've agreed that we can actually get this thing flashed. So we're going up to see Steve Jordan at Steve Jordan Motorcycles. Actually, I went up there last week what I really want to do is do a base map on the bike before we put the exhaust on, but we'll go through all that. I couldn't do that. But in this video, we will be fitting the exhaust and then going up to see Steve, seeing how much power it makes with the exhaust fitted, if it's safe to run, just fitting the exhaust without messing with the fueling. But then we're also going to map it. So we're going to use the Woolwich software, map the bike, get it all set up, remove all those pesky Suzuki restrictions and see what she makes basically, and also see how it rides. More importantly, how it rides rather than peak power figures. So if you're interested in some more exhaust antics, then this is the video for you. So get yourself a cup of tea, I've got mine, and let's get our hands dirty and start fitting the exhaust. Drop C, roll the intro. Cheers. So before we get started, let me just give you a little overview of this system. Now this is a Lextek system, which is the UK-based company, Lextek, and this is one of their stainless steel. So this is all stainless systems. So you've got the NCAN. What's really impressed me with this for a £470 system is the quality of everything. The weld quality is just so nice. And then we've got like a mid box with the system, so with a small little bike. You know, it's just straight through. But can you see through there? Yeah, it's just straight through, a little bit of baffling. But again, like the quality of the welds and everything, you know, look on here, look, the quality of the welds is exceptionally good. And we've got little joiners here. And again, weld quality, £470. You don't have to spend £5,000 on the exhaust to get good quality. So what I want to do as part of this video is obviously weigh all of this. This isn't particularly light because it's stainless steel. But I think it's still going to be lighter than the standard system because we're going to be removing the cat and all of that. So the rest of it is in the packaging here. We'll get it unpackaged and then basically I think remove the standard system, which is here. That's the standard one. Whip that off and yeah, see how she sounds. I'm looking forward to a bit of a rumble. There we go, 3 headers. And we've also got a little exhaust guard to go on as well. Even comes with spring pullers. I'm not sure what that massive long bolt is, and all the other little bits and bobs, mounting brackets, blanks for the lambda if you want to remove the lambda sensors, and all the springs and stuff. 470 quid. Right, so I've removed a lot of the panel work already because we had to get to the ECU. So I think cover off here, a few bolts up there. Might have to drop the radiator forward to be able to get. I will have to drop the radiator forward to be able to get to those bolts at the top there. So I might have to drain a bit of coolant and undo this and drop it all forward a little bit. Let's crack on. One of those, and I think one of those. I've broken the seal on the pipe. That's mucky. Oh, you bugger. Made a mess already. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit messy. Oh, Jesus. Hopefully that'll give me enough just to get behind there. There we go, just zip tying that radiator forward a bit. Now I've got much better access to those exhaust studs. And a much wetter working area to boot. There's the exhaust valve gubbins here. So when we flash it, we'll disable the exhaust valve as part of the gubbins, and I'll just obviously disconnect the cables and probably just leave the cables dangling. Annoyingly, to get to the last bolt, it's right up behind the rear sets. So I think we're gonna have to drop the rear sets off to get access to the bolt behind it. I'm gonna zip tie that back out of the way again. Terrible use of plastic, I know. I'm just gonna loosen this one. There we go, but not undo it completely because it's going to be holding the weight of the exhaust. I don't want everything wanging off the headers. So that's the back done. Let's do the headers. This is all going swimmingly so far. No, I've done it. Thankfully, as the bike is only 8 months old, hopefully we're not going to have any dramas. Well, that was easy, those two. I've only got one more to undo now. This one here. It's loose. Well, that was easy, and I think aided by the fact that the bike is not very old. 17. There we go. One lambda sensor. There she goes. Oh, Jesus. 9.6. 2 kilos for the end can. So 11.6 kilos in total for the standard system. Don't worry, I've got my safety Crocs on. Oh, I've not even got them in sport mode. Let me put them in sport mode. There we go, that's better. Wow, 6.7. 6.75. 6.6. More or less half the weight. 5 kilos saved. That's worthwhile, isn't it? So next job, I suppose, is to start putting it all together. What was really good, it comes all numbered, so you can see what bit goes into where. Like the headers have all got numbers on, so you can't go wrong. So what I'm going to do, fit the headers individually. Obviously, don't tighten them up yet, and then sort of build it all up loose. Lextek do give you like gasket sealant. Not gasket sealant, exhaust sealant. I'm going to try and avoid using that. Shouldn't really need to use that. One thing they also give you, obviously all the brackets and everything else I showed you just a minute ago, but they also included is new header gaskets. So you get new gaskets as well. 470 quid this exhaust. I'm so impressed with this for 470 quid. Unbelievable. Oh, they're going to be hard to get out. Oh, they're going to be really difficult to get out. Header number 1. So reusing the original header bolts. You don't get new ones of them. Let's see. Let's see if it's double jointed to do this. So there we go, everything loosely fitted for the minute. But I mean, that's very loosely fitted, isn't it? And I need to make sure they're seated properly. So next we got the first collectors. So as you can see, all numbered. 1 and 2 is here. Spring clips, and there's spring clips on the bottom here, so it must go that way up. So the spring clips line up. Seems to be going at a rather funny angle there, doesn't it? So I've got all the main header pipes fitted. I got myself a little bit confused because I thought the numbering was actually wrong on these pipes, and I've just been messing about for about 40 minutes here. Number 1 is the left-hand side of the bike. I had it into my head that the number 1 cylinder was measured from the right-hand side of the bike. I've just completely confused myself with this now, but I finally got the pipes on in the right order with the right, and then worked out which is the right extension piece here, because I was worried about a bit of clearance around the oil cooler jacket. Let me just show you quickly. Where I was messing around with it all, it seemed that it was going to be fouling this pipe here. You know, last thing you want is a hot exhaust resting against this coolant pipe. So, but I've sorted it. Everything is still loose, so everything's got a bit of movement. But I know I've got these in. I've sort of trial fitted it now, and I know they're in the right positions. So all the labelling is right, all the numbering is right. I've tried every combination just to get this, you know, to make sure it's fitting properly. So I'm just going to add a little bit of copper slick to this system as I put it together. Now in the Lextek instructions it says use their exhaust sealer. I don't want to use exhaust sealer around these headers. You know, I want to just a bit of copper slip. These are really quite a nice tight fit, so it's not going to blow. It's not going to blow through these. So I'm going to use a bit of copper slip, so if I do need to take it off later, I can do, or make it easier to remove. But then I think get these on, get the mid pipe on then, and then the tail can. And then once I've got everything in position, I'll start tightening stuff down. So let's get these bad boys on. Ooh, a little blob of the old copper slip, which I'll run round in this side of these. That's sort of how how close the standard system was getting to that. So that should be okay. You know, there's a fair bit of gap there. Get these kiddies on. Bit of copper slip again. Up there like that. I'm going to put a little bit of blue Loctite, or a lot of blue Loctite, on this as well. So that is tight, that is on there. I could go and nip up the headers now. I'm not going to. I'm going to get everything mounted first so I can be sure it's correct. We'll put the rear sets back in place. Cut the zip tie. Put a little bit of Loctite back on these. They had Loctite on when they came out. Torque them up, FT. So I've test fitted the silencer and it comes incredibly close to the swinging arm. I think I need to space things away a little bit here. Move the system out this way a little bit. Okay, so I've spaced that bolt out now. I found a couple of spacers in my, I keep a lot of space. I bought a lot of spacers for this sort of thing, so I've got a supply of spacers, but yeah, it's plenty of room for it to pull out, but it really needs a little spacer in there because it was going a bit too close. So something to bear in mind if you're going to install this system is that little spacer there could be required. I'll feed that back to Lextek as well. But that's it, so that's all secure. I'm happy with how that's all routed. I'm happy with the clearance under here. I've not tightened anything up yet, but I also want to get the end can on as well here. You get a little bracket here to go to that there. So if we just do a trial fit up, it's going to sit something like that. Comes with a spring puller, this kit as well, which is a really, really nice touch, isn't it, for a system for under 500 quid, and you get spring pullers included to install it. That's a nice touch. We also need to put the lambda sensor back in. So a little tip for these, obviously you've got to wind it in that way to screw it up, but it twists the wire. So if you twist it the other direction and then fit it, and sort of the cable unwinds then as it screws back in. The system also comes with this little cover which bolts here and up here, but it looks like it's not quite lining up. So I may have to just sort of try and bang this round a bit more. And I'm going to use a little bit of the provided exhaust seal just around here, because I think if it's going to blow anywhere, it's going to be on this joint here. So I'm going to just glue that up as well. And once you start the bike, this all heats up. I don't know if you get this on your fingers or not. Oh well. Too late now. Bracket. The bolt facing forward so I can get to it, slide that over. Get this arm without making too much mess. Get back again, so I've got to spin that around that way. Not scratching things, too late. I'll wipe off any excess we got here. You can got it on here. How have I managed to get it up here? Nip things up. I think this is the secret to fitting exhaust. Don't tighten anything up until you've got it all on there and you know exactly what's going on. That would be my advice there. There we go, nicely seated. And even though it's not tight, if I try and move the exhaust, it's solid. It's solid without me even tightening this stuff up. So the little bracket is still slightly out. I've bent it a bit, but it's still, it needs to be down more like that. I'm gonna have to have a little bit of a whack on that. It's all bolted up tight, headers are tight, I've bolted everything down. It's time to try and move that bracket. So, you know what? You've got to break out the Ducati Special Tools for a job like this. Don't hate me. Yeah. That'll do it. Before I do the final tightening down, it's very important to give the whole system a wash down with some WD-40, because if you've got any fingerprints on it or oil marks, when you run the bike up for the first time, those will actually mark the metal. So WD-40, spray the whole thing down, give it a good wipe before I put that cover on. So I can get right in here. Ooh, a bit of that. Be liberal. Bloody gorgeous. So she's all back together, she's all tightened up, pods on, bracket on, all there. She's all there, looking beautiful. What I've got to do is just top the coolant up. So I've got some Silcoline mag coolant. I've actually got quite a big project coming up where I'm going to be changing the oil on all of my bikes. And then on every bike, sending that oil off to be analysed to see what condition it's in, what engine wear we've got. So we're going to all of my machines, we're going to change the oil on, send each one off, analyse it, and then obviously top it up with gorgeous Silcoline oil. And Silcoline have provided the oil for the project. When you say to Silcoline, or Fuchs Silcoline, that you need some oil for a project, this is what they send you. They send you a pallet of goodies. So I've got a pallet of oil, cleaning products, coolant. So yeah, massive thanks to Fuchs Silcoline for supporting me and providing me some oil for my project. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. So we're going to change the oil on the GX, get it analysed, see what it's like. Same with the Ducati, that's now done 300 miles. So we're going to drop the oil, send it off for analysis. I've also got analysis results from a 100-mile oil drop on that. So it'll be quite good to see what the difference is, you know, with it's being run in. The H2, we dropped the oil on the H2 under the 70s duvet at the moment. And of course, you know, the SMCR and the R1. So not going to do this XR because I have just changed the oil on that before I tried to start it last year, if you remember. But yeah, massive thanks to Silcoline for supporting my projects, including this one. So that's it, all done, all finished. It's now off to see Steve Jordan tomorrow, where we're going to do the mapping and power runs. Sorry? Oh, you want to hear it? You actually want to hear the exhaust? Ah, okay. Of course you want to hear it. Let's fire it up. Shut up, Michael. So I will see you next time at Steve Jordan Motorcycles when we see how much power this bike can make fully uncorked. We'll also check how it's running standard, you know, how it's running before mapping, to see if you can actually fit these headers without getting it mapped, see if it's safe to run like this. And then of course we'll use the Woolwich flash and we'll get it fully flashed, remove all those pesky Suzuki restrictions and see how much power this bike can make. Oof. Can't wait. See you next time, guys.